Let's have a look at you, lad. You sat there stoned out your car, lads, on LSD. You got a picture of too much tied to a fence, lad. You coming in here chatting poo. Get out of here, lad. Hey, everything in your life's them two dogs, isn't it, kid? Hey, all you big animal lovers out there. The only thing you communicate with is your dog cage, isn't it, lad? Hey, you got a big dirty dog cage smacked in the middle of your living room. Weird used dog breeders, lad. Aren't they? Got birds with 10-foot pups pissing themselves all over the gaff in bed, thinking it's great. Oh, look at me with my 10 pups. You stink of pissed, old girl. Yeah, but look, I've got 10 pups. Yeah, but you stink. Your whole house stinks. Your dog stinks, your hair stinks, your couch stinks. You've got to open every window, every door, bleach the deck 10 times a day, and you've still got the mutts in there running round all over the gaff. Don't chat, you girl. They all go on, yeah, we have a boss life. Yeah, 5 minutes on TikTok, great. 24 hours cleaning piss up from all over the gaff. You've got them caged, prisons and all that, bottom of your gardens like demons. Doesn't mean I don't like animals, people. Get in a twist, don't start coming at me with your bow and arrows. I'm sweet, mate. I've been feeding cats for the last 6 months until I was told to stop feeding them. And I'm talking stray cats, ones that cause grape on the streets. Corner other cats and that and leave them in a mess. Big ones like that, snatching everyone's scran and that. I was feeding them up, bang on 6 o'clock and 12 bells every day. So don't start saying I hate cats. We used to have a Rottweiler in our house called Zola, after that monster off Ghostbusters. A Kerry Blue. Got it off Mark Styles. James Richo's dad used to breed Rottweilers. Kerry Blues they were called. Cause my ma was mates with their ma, Mary. We got a dog. Got tethered by me ma and mate. Got weighed in. So in our house on the Grisdale estate, by the back door you had what we called the cubbyhole. Did you ever call anything called a cubbyhole in your house? Some shit at the back with all lighting. Well, that got made into Bright Sparks' father Flick Dar. Said, I know, we'll have the cubbyhole in the winter as a kennel. What happens when you've got a dog locked in a cubbyhole and it's not getting out? Starts headbutting plasterboards in there, making big holes in the plasterboards with its teeth. So Father Flicker come back, see the damage, and Zola would just get weighed in, kicked in the garden and locked out there in the winter. And he wouldn't get fed. Me ma would have a little bit of a kind heart, let it into the cubbyhole. Dad would get on it, get that you foot back out there, volleying it everywhere. We used to sneak scran into it and get belted for it. Used to sneak like pieces of bread and this into the dog, get caught and get belted everywhere. Honest to God, soul alive, was a boss dog. But it was just skin and bones, mate. You know, where it was just being neglected in the house and that. And that's what used to happen, lad. Honest to God, used to sneak and try and give it food, get weighed in off our arm, mate. Only a few of us would take the risk. Me and Danny. Yes, Jojo. But I've been speaking about with me and Danny, the other kids weren't witnessing. You know, Billy ended up living with the Armans, Stephen Arman, Joan Arman, Glenda Arman, the Steve-Os basically. He went to live with all them when he was a kid. And then Ian, after the fire and that, went to live in Langley. Stephen ended up with his bed up there with like the Elliots and the Ellisons, is it? So it was like me and Danny were the worst products of that environment, because we were around it more than the other kids. we suffered it a lot more than the other kids, basically, because we were more there. Anyway, our brothers went to lovely families. Me and Danny went into care. That was the difference. So when we all got separated, Ian went to a decent family, well, 10 times better than ours. Stephen went to a decent family, and Billy went to a decent family. Me and Danny went into Dyson Hall. So Dyson Hall at what? I can't even remember the age, but it was 13, 14, random ages. So within a year of me being in Dyson Hall or something, I'm now in the YP system. So took off our ma into the care system. Within a few years, 15 months detained, 14 years of age, jail. And then there's me. Every year. So that sentence went in at 14. 15 months detained back then was rare. My first offence, really. My first violent offence. First time in that type of court. Slammed me. 15 months detained. I had Kathleen Gilday was in the court as my appropriate adult. Got 15 months detained or went to jail. Went in there at 14, left there just before my 16th birthday. And then before my 17th birthday, I'm back in jail. And then every year, every birthday and every Christmas since the age of 17, I done in custody up until the age of... So by the time I got arrested in 2004, I'd had them 2 birthdays and Christmases out before I got me 18. So from 17 up into 22, I'd done every birthday and every summer and every Christmas in prison. I'd get out for a little month, back in on serious offences, witness intimidation, acquitted, out for a bit, more violence, back in. Got a run from 2-2 to 2-4. That little window, that's all we was. Look what you heard about us in them 2 years. Imagine if we never got attacked by them frats. Imagine how established it would have become. I'm quite happy, to be honest, that it ended that way. Not the fact that Craig or Regan was murdered. The fact that the intervention in me kicked in at that time. It's not about being a hard family. You're made notorious. You know, you've got complete helmets, mate, who've been made notorious in the city of Liverpool. We weren't helmets. You know, we were violent cunts, mate. But we were blew up to be... So we were naughty, but we were blew up to be extra naughty by the media, police, Liverpool Echo. So we were known on our estates and the surrounding area, like round L5. And we were carrying on a bit mad, and people were getting shook. But then a little incident happened here that ended up in the Echo. And then the Echo informed Liverpool that there's a new crime family in an area called the G's. And then every month, the G's, because we were getting arrested, acquitted. Danny was doing his madness down there, Stephen was doing... Because we weren't a collective group of brothers. We'd been disbanded as kids and we remained disbanded. We come together later on. 19, 20, 22. It's when we started gelling. That's when we started going, okay, all yous lot. Let's see what they're about. While we were all detached by the system, they were all harassing us. When we were old enough to get our head together and gel back together, they all started doing their hardest to either kill us or get us put in jail. Honest to God, I'm not bullshitting you, mate. That's the way it was. So it went, all of a sudden, everyone in Liverpool was talking about, who are these G's? Who are these G's? Who are these G's? We weren't big millionaires. We weren't even dealing drugs that time, you're on it. We already had the violent reputation before we tapped into the drug world. These drug dealers gain a violent reputation after they've got in there. And their reputation's built on the back of other kids doing the dirty work. Ours weren't. We was them kids doing that dirty work for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like now, that's what you see. You see them dangerous kids elevating through the ranks, don't you, in the crime world. That's what we was. But because we'd upset all... I've told the story anyway loads of times, I'm not going to go back into it. But we upset the local gangsters, so we weren't allowed a piece of the cake. So it was difficult for us to tap into graft. We didn't want to graft initially, we were just happy doing the bergs that we were doing that. But when you did want to tap into it, because it made sense to not go to prison as often as you was, and these little rats on the estate dealing drugs weren't going to prison. You're doing a big mad grafts, getting a couple of grand, but going to prison for some time of the year. Understand? So it made sense to tap into that way of life. So when we started realising it's best that we avoid more prison and tap into that way of making dough, we couldn't get into it. Because these powers because I was connected to the Gilday firm, the area where I am and on the streets with all the kids there was the Farley firm. And they had a dispute, the Gildays and the Farleys, years ago. And I was just aligned to Kate. I was like a Gilday in their eyes. So I was treated like a Gilday every time they see me. Spy, what are you doing with him, Snowy? Get him away from us, he's a Gilday. You know, all this sort of terrorisation off them rats. That's what used to happen with cheeky bastards, aren't they? It's mad the way they think you're scared of them now when you weren't scared of them when you were younger. It's crazy that, isn't it? You know, when you're growing up not giving a fuck, you know who they are. You don't give a who they are or what they've done or who they've got behind them. Do you understand? You've been like that since a kid. What makes them think now, because you're an adult, you're scared of them? Weird, mate, honest to God. The lives we are leading, mate, this isn't the way it should be, people. The lives we lead are just so wrong, it's weird. And no one can see it. It's like... It's just weird, I can't get past it. You're just happy living in that street, going to that usual shop, listening to the same dead chat, the same shit with the same gangsters causing the same violent scenes. This is not how we should be living, people. Honest to God, mate. The way life is now is weird. Do you not think we're killing each other, attacking each other, banging each other's birds, getting locked in prison, getting murdered? Everything, it's just weird. It's just completely scatty what's going on right now. And you just can't see, you're just living amongst it, closing your front door, putting your Sky telly on. And that's it, you're just lost till you go to sleep. Wake up the next day, nothing's happened at your front door, or everything's okay in the world. As if, mate. None of this is okay, what's going on with us, mate. And it's going to get, you can see it getting worse. The control, slowly but surely, the control is getting tighter. They're about to enforce some mad on everyone, you know, people. And if you fight, you're going to end up... It's about the time in these dynamics, and that's what I keep on screaming at you. All you solid people from England and Britain who follow that Yaxley, it's the wrong time. It's the wrong time. These are all being facially recognitioned and all profiles set up about you. It's why he's encouraging you not to wear your masks. It's why he's making you more vulnerable. Access to recognition a lot easier. All profiled, all put on that system. We're already on it. There's loads of us already on it. You just don't, you sign away and you don't realise it. So if you're with Gym Group, or you're with Pure Gym, or you're with any of these cooperative gyms where you put your code in and you stand in that box, some of you have already got to put your fingerprints on them, haven't you? It makes it easier if you use your fingerprints, or it makes it easier if you scan your phone. It makes it easy for them to profile you. That's the whole thing. So when you're stood in that circle, you've got a camera right on you. You can see it on the screen. You know, that's doing that. Zzz, zzz. You just don't know what's doing it. It's like when you go into prisons now. You know, it's all facial recognition as soon as you walk in there. You tell you to stand in the square, you've got a camera, it goes zzz, zzz. Everything comes up on the screen for them. Let's get rid of another knobhead like that. But it's accepting it, you know, people. You can go against the grain or you can go with it. Sometimes you've got to go with the flow. Why? Because that's just the way it is. It's just how it's been. Just embrace the change. You know, don't get worried about it. If it starts impacting on your children, then you get worried about it. All this digital age, that's definitely coming in. The way you use your money, the way you buy your shopping, don't be scared of it. Basically, if you're not illegal, there's nothing to worry about. In my eyes, in the context of things there. If they bring this mad paying mechanism in where you've got to pay without cash and there's no cash and there's nothing there to exchange, the only people that should be worried about that really is people that are doing illegal shit cash. Innit? You know, you can go out and buy an house with the same process here. You just can't use your cash anymore. And on the back of that, it's gonna prevent a lot of crime. You know, things can't be bought in cash. You know, there's no black. There'll be a black market of cash, but then the cash won't be worth fuck all. It won't be stood on anything. Do you understand? It'll just be like having £1 million buried. It's worthless. And that's what it'll do to the drug market as well. You know, it'll be more difficult to create transactions. People will get away with it along the line, but there'll be a lot more people being arrested for it. So there's a lot of positives, but there's a lot of negatives to it, isn't it? Why? Because people like to get a wad of dough put in the pocket and spend it on what they like, especially when you're on universal credit. I don't know one person who spends their universal credit on what they're meant to be spending it on. Do you understand? Like if I'm given a certain amount, I'm meant to spend that amount on me and do get my life in order. But I don't. It's halved straight away. And I don't. Majority of the people that are on benefits, I'm not just saying this, people. This is how it is. This is just the way it is. I don't know how many's on the benefit system, but I'm telling you, if there's 2 million on there, 1 million are on there on drugs, and every bit of money they get goes on drugs. So if you've got 1 million people, the majority of these people have lost a leg through drugs. They're all on PIP because they're up off drugs. So they're getting close to £2,000 a month. 15 ton of them 1 million people, £2,000 going to drug dealers, guaranteed within a week. This punter who's on PIP getting £1,900 a month. Within a week, £1,500 of that is in that drug dealer's pocket. Guaranteed. And if you've got 1 million people with drug addictions on PIP receiving that much dough, do the maths. Do the maths, mate. Do you understand? Think about that, mate. That's massive, innit? I don't know how many people are on PIP benefits and how many have got substance misuse problems, but the majority have. It doesn't matter if it's medicated or what. The majority of people who are on an opiate-based medication, they smoke and smack. So if you've got, again, let's just try and work the maths out. Is that £750 million a month? Is it? Let's just think about that a sec, right? Let's just put a number there, hypothetically. You've got 1 million people on PIP. Say you've got 2 million in the whole country, 2.5 million. Out of them 2.5 million, 1 million of them are on substances. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if that's a crackhead and a smackhead and they're on PIP and they're getting £2 a month, that's some dough, that, in there. 1 million times, 2,000 times 1 million, what's that? 200 million? Or am I just way off the mark? Some dough, that, mate. That's some dough there. And that's what this will do again. You know, them punters won't have 15-ton cash in the pocket. Yeah, you can go and buy 100,000 flows and sell it to that dealer there for a stone, but it's not going to happen. So, you know, it'll just cut loads of madness out as well. So really, it will be the people that are fiddling that'll be screaming and shouting about it. I think it'll work a treat, mate. Obviously, it's the control. It's the control element on the back of it, isn't it? At the moment, if you break the law, they'll arrest you, bring you in custody, put you in court, go for a poker process, go through this legal orangutan to get all this off you and all that. With this, you break the law, they can just go, right, mate, that's shut for now until we've cleared this up. Don't even have to put you in prison. Do they? Sit in there, you move, you've lost this and this. Honest to God. Open prison, the prisons will be empty. I was thinking the other day, you know, with all this division, this racial tension and all this culture, this, like, where cultures aren't integrating with each other and all this, would it not just be better to make Scotland into Caucasian, and England into, you know, Asian, and Wales into African, and just let us crack on with our own little borders? Is that not a better way of doing it? It's like that now, innit? But it's all fractured. So I'm not saying it as like a racist thing, but is it not a better way of dealing with what's going on in the country? You know, okay then, we've got all these different cultures splattered all over the country. Why aren't we just banging all that culture down there, all this culture up there, all that culture there? Why are you trying to get us to integrate and mix and have one belief system and one religion and all that? Why can't you just let us, okay, section the country off into 4 places, and that can, them 4 parts of the country can house all our cultures, can't they? All Christians over there, you can put it into religious sects if you want, couldn't you? You could have Islamic there, Jewish there, Christian there, Orthodox down there, atheists just over there floating around in the water. Yes, Mode. I know I'm speaking hypothetically now, people, okay? It's just what ifs. Maybes. Could be. Maybe that could happen. How are you, El Perry, lad? Are you cool? What time is it? Coming up for 11:15. It's Friday night. I haven't lost the plot yet, have I? Seen how calm I've been? Is this the way forward for Darren G? Oh, you never know. I've got the flow. Because you never know. I've got the flow, you never know. I've got the flow. How are you, Carl Melville Jones? You good, mate? Looking after the kids and that? Good on you, fella. Yes, Michelle? Calm Friday vibes. Bought a pedometer. Do you know what a pedometer is, people? Pay 2 sheets for it. Do you know what 2 sheets is? £2. 2 sheets, get out. You used to have pound notes, didn't you? I think you hear my granddad say, there's 2 sheets there, Daz. Sounds hard. So I bought a pedometer. You know what I'm saying, Danny?